looks down to his bullpen on his way out. And he makes the sign to the bullpen, give me the wide, tall guy. What a job by Cox. If you're Bobby Jenks, here's what your manager thinks of you. Give me this guy, big guy, tall guy. Jenks coming in, first and third, 2 out, Sox up 1.
Game 1 to the White Sox. Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmeiro over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Juan Uribe with a play, charging it, throwing it, and the White Sox celebrate their first title in 88 years.
You play for the love of the game, the joy of it. It's what I love to do. I'm playing to be a world champion. And that's what I wanted to do from the time I could pick up a baseball.
Somebody big just died. Former White Sox closer and World Series champion Bobby Jenks is dead at 44 years old. My friend Mike North is here to help deliver his eulogy. Mike, this one hits for us White Sox fans.
Yeah, it was sad. I was almost in tears watching it, to be honest with you, because it was a special time in all our lives. I was a White Sox. I've been a White Sox fan my whole life. I went to the World Series game in 2005 where Pennyville hit the home run.
Oh.
It started raining in the 5th inning. And I told Bibi, let's get out of here. She goes, are you out of your mind? And she was a Cub fan. We're not leaving. I may never see a World Series, she says, again. And
right.
Little did we know that 2016 would come. But at that time, I mean, she said, we're not leaving. I said, come on, we'll go watch it. He goes, no, we're not leaving. So we stayed. And I wasn't going to leave anyway. And but we're getting pelted by rain. And then Pennyville hit home run. And Bobby Jenks was just epitomized Chicago. Was a big burly guy.
Lights out.
Amen. He was at his early age when he first broke in. He was the only guy to throw over 100 miles an hour, 102 miles an hour. We'll get to Bobby in a minute. Cumberland Chapels, of course, is our local sponsor here. Great sponsor, 8300 West Lawrence Avenue. Anthony Lupo, Peter Martino, 708-456-8300, serving families with dignity and grace and taking care of families throughout the Chicagoland area for decades. What you see is what you get. You get great service. They take you through everything. They make you feel good about what you're about to do, which, you know, you spend a lot of money on things, on your wedding, when you get married. But when somebody dies, you spend money too, and you don't want to spend money foolishly. So go to Cumberland Chapels, check them out. Go see them. They're great people. 8300 West Lawrence Avenue in Norwich, Illinois. Then you got Pennyville Station. Pennyville Station, right there, 112 Main Street, across from the railroad station. Tony Antonacci's place. Outstanding. Great food. Great stuff. Great drinks. Great libations. Really busy area down there in Park Ridge. It's right off of Greenwood there. And you can't miss it. I mean, it's a beautiful place off Cumberland. And, you know, it's right in that general area there. You have good times, and you can have it at 112 Main Street. Go see Tino and Tony Antonacci. Tony, the proprietor. Tino, of course, the ambassador of restaurants on the northwest side of Chicago and in the suburbs. And Bobby Jenks. Well, we lost track of Bobby, but Bobby signed with the White Sox in 2005. And he pitched for them for a few years, and he went to Boston. Okay. He ranked second among White Sox pitchers. He was a 2-time All-Star. When he broke in, he saved us. I don't know I don't know, Joe, if we have Bobby Jenks. I mean, I used to tell Steve Stone, and I used to discuss this, and Stone was, I believe, wrong on this account. Steve's pretty right on a lot of things. But he said, finding a closer is one of the hardest things you can do. And I go, no, it's not. And I remember Bobby Thigpen, and then Matt Karchner pitched a year and was lights out. And then Roberto Hernandez pitched a year and he was lights out. And then Bobby Jenks. Well, Bobby Jenks was different. Bobby Jenks wasn't an all-star in 2005.
No, he wasn't.
In 2006, 2007, he had 40-plus saves 2 years in a row.
And Bobby wouldn't have had the opportunity, Mike, if Billy Koch didn't get hurt.
Right. And, boy, we can thank that. Our lucky stars that he did get hurt. I forgot about Neil Koch, for God's sake.
Neil Koch was lights out that whole playoff run, too.
He was great as the middle reliever, okay? He retired a record 41 batters in a row, folks. I mean,
Yeah,
Bobby Jenks, awesome. Here's where ESPN has, when they do these Oscar things, these Academy Award things for people who have died.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
They get some 25-year-old. Same thing with what happened with ESPN. Bobby Jenks was not a participant in the 2005 World Series. He was like the all-star type
key figure. Yes.
He was the guy. And they didn't realize that. They didn't even remember him. I don't know how you can be in the sports business and hire people that don't know who people are. I mean, my God, just give me a call. I'll tell you who Bobby Jenks was. Anybody could, if you know anything about baseball, for goodness sake. He was born in Mission Hills, California. And I have a special, this is why I love Bobby. He couldn't play for his high school teams because his grades weren't good enough. Just like me. I could have played on, I made the teams, and then I'd get my course book, and then I'd be off the team. Basketball, baseball, and the same thing happened to Bobby. I ended up dropping out. Bobby did. He was ineligible to play his remaining years of high school ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he plays American Legion ball, and scouts start hearing about him. So he took a shortcut.
Oh, sure.
That's what you do. You take a shortcut. If you're supposed to go there.
It worked for him.
That's right. The Anaheim Angels selected Bobby in the 5th round. Okay. During his time, he was on the disabled list a lot. He also had issues at that time with alcohol and conditioning. He was designated for assignment in 2004. On December 17, 2004, he was claimed off waivers by the White Sox for $20,000. What
nice.
Event. Well, hey, this is a Kenny Williams find. I'll give Kenny Williams credit. I'll give Kenny Williams credit. Nobody has been harder on Kenny Williams, and deservedly so, that he deserved the ass kicking that he got. But there were times he did some good things, and Bobby Jenks was one of them.
Yeah.
And he pitched for the Barons, went 1-2 with 19 saves. They called him up to the major leagues on July 5th, and the rest is history. He pitched in each of the series 4 games. The White Sox won the series in 4 straight games over the Astros. Jenks pitched a total of 5 innings, made the series final pitch. He recorded saves in Game 1 and Game 4, had a blown save in Game 2, and pitched scoreless 11 to 12th innings in a 14-inning Game 3. He was selected to the All-Star team in 2006, 3-4 record, 4.00 ERA, but he had 41 out of 45 saves. He was again selected the next year, where he was outstanding. And in 2007, he pursued a record streak of retiring consecutive batters.
Man, that was awesome. I remember.
Yeah, it was great. And he got it done. And he just was larger than life. And everybody liked him. And I'll tell a story. We were on the road. Me, John Momola, Fred Hubner, Jen Patterson. We went with the Sox to Boston. And I got us tickets on top of the wall. And
the Green Monster, huh?
Yeah. And we went a couple times. We saw Randy Johnson pitch against Kurt Schilling.
Nice.
Yankees and Red Sox. And we went there for a series, but then we went with the White Sox. And we went into a bar where we heard the players went into. And Bobby Jenks was in there. And so was the biggest tool I've ever met in my life, Josh Beckett. Who remembers
Josh Beckett? Oh my gosh.
Josh Beckett was pitching for the Boston Red Sox at the time, and he was in the bar. What a tool! Just wasn't a nice guy to people, you know. And but it happens. Caught him on a bad night. Maybe people caught him on a bad night. But Bobby bought like 20 shots, and they came in like a metal tray, and he bought everybody shots.
Oh, nice.
Of Jaeger.
Oh.
And, you know, we're picking up the shots off the tray, and the shit's spilling on the tray. I do the shot, I go, and I look up, and Bobby's got the tray. Bobby's like this with the tray. So Bobby was a party boy. That's what he was. And he even says it. He didn't take care of himself. He drank too much. He partied. But that wasn't his problem. He performed. And when you can do that and you perform, I never had a problem with people that can, you know, drink and then go to work. I mean, that's just the way it was. So, you know, Bobby, I had no problem with that. What happened to Bobby was he went to Boston after the Sox let him go, signed a $12 million 2-year deal. So he's set. He's set for life, except the life ain't going to be that long because during the season, he had a bicep strain, put him on the injured list. But then he hurt his back. And it was like almost like a spoon that had been shoved in his back. He couldn't function. And he had MRIs done. He had blood clot in his lung. He was diagnosed with a pulmonary embolism. He had colitis. I had colitis once. I mean, it's no fun. It's no fun. So then he gets this wacko doctor that's supposed to be good from what he understands. And he was supposed to have 2 levels of his spine decompressed. Dr. Kirkham Wood, head of the orthopedic bone unit, that's never a good thing, at Massachusetts General Hospital, failed to complete the 2nd level. He was working on somebody else at the same time. He had 2 surgeries going. Anyway, to make a long story short, he was forced to undergo emergency surgery because that surgery was botched on December 28th, only 2 weeks after his first back surgery. Then he got an infection. Then his muscles got screwed up and they were tore open. He was out for 3 weeks. For 3 months, and they put him on the 60-day disabled list. Now, what happened was then he got on painkillers. Okay, because the pain was so bad in his back, he had to have plates put in, screws, everything else.
He was such a bad draw, man. He had such bad luck.
Yeah, he was taking 60 painkillers a day.
Jeez.
Drinking and everything else. He couldn't get the right care. He ended up going through divorce. Yeah. That stuff's killer. So is Cavassier, so is Cognac. But after all that, he ended up managing in the minors. I never even knew this. In the Pioneer League, the Grand Junction Rockies. And he was supposed to be a pretty good manager. A lot of fun to play for. He led the Thunderbolts. Well, the record wasn't all that good, 40 and 56 in 2014. 2024. He was set to return in 2025. There he is with his new wife. They were in Portugal. Look at him. I think this is one of the deaths that, really captured everybody.
Yeah.
That hurt everybody. And you know what? He went to Portugal. That's his wife. That when Ozzy came out and asked for the big guy and stuff, that was classic. Bobby was just a fun-loving guy, a fun guy. He was married twice. He became addicted to painkillers after his back surgery, and at one point, was taking 60-plus pills a day. And that was on the low side on some days.
Yeah, that's insane.
He tried to detox. He tried not to do it. He couldn't get it done. He ended up drinking and getting crazy.
It's so sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is sad. And then he moves to Pacific Palisades in L.A. and the place burns. Then the whole town burns to the ground.
Yeah, talk about bad luck.
Listen to this. Jenks moved to Pacific Palisades region of Los Angeles, where his home burned to the ground after all this other stuff. He spent time in Portugal. That's where his wife was from, his second wife. He had been diagnosed with cancer of the stomach, and he died in Sintra, Portugal at the age of 44 years old.
Things were bad, Mike, because a couple months before he passed, it was announced that he was like signing autographs and stuff and doing like raise money for his medical bills and stuff.
Right. I heard AJ Brzezinski and the guys talking about 2-3 months ago, sort of like Bobby Sherman's death. You knew that once you get that stomach cancer, not many survive it. And that's what happened to him. I think Bobby was one of the best clutch relief pitchers I've ever seen.
It's just
for the White Sox.
Unbelievable. Unhittable in his prime.
Yeah.
And ironic how you talk about how fast stomach cancer can get you, Mike. Ozzie made this post saying, "I'm sad to hear about Bobby. Out of words to describe how I feel losing a player, and more importantly, a friend is never easy. Fierce competitor with no fear, just power and a big heart. Haven't got one hell of a closer and an even better man. Rest easy, Big Bobby." And Ozzie was saying on the air the other day, this picture of him and Bobby was taken a year ago.
Where at? In Chicago?
They were golfing somewhere. I don't know where it was taken, but look what happens in a year. You go from that to dying.
Yeah, they were having a good time there too. Yeah, it's just a terrible thing for Bobby and for the White Sox. And it's been a crazy year off the field for the White Sox, considering the Pope is a White Sox fan, and he was at the game. He was at the first World Series game. I'm sure
biggest acquisition of all time for the White Sox.
I'm sure the Pope's not happy about Bobby Jenks dying. Pope was a diehard Sox fan, man. He'll probably include him one of his masses.
Maybe they'll make him a saint.
Guy. Cub fans would have. Class move by the Cubs.
They did put it on the scoreboard.
Put it up on the board today. Say passed away Bobby Jenks, pitcher for the White Sox, passed away. Class move. The White Sox. Wow. I don't know when they played it. They showed it on social media. They played a big tribute on the video, but there would be like 5,000 people in the place.
Yeah, the White Sox did it today.
Yeah, and it was very nice, very nice. And I think everybody knew it was going to happen, but you're just bummed out that it did happen. We'll never, in my lifetime, I can promise you. And I plan on hopefully living a long time. But the way I see people dropping like flies, you kiss the ground you walk on every single day.
I mean, this is the exact reason why.
Yeah, you just say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." Michael Madsen, the one we showed yesterday, and then today, Bobby Jenks. This wasn't that long ago, folks. This is 20 years ago. It went fast. I mean, it went fast. And Ozzie, this was classic right here. Classic. And Ozzie was so good for that team. And then look at the ball just explode. Just explode.
102.
You were, Joe. You were a big White Sox fan too.
Oh, dude, I worked.
Were you at the game?
I was not only was I a huge fan, I actually worked in the park as a vendor, Mike. I was selling nachos during the World Series in left field. So.
Nice. I was a vendor there in '69. Awesome, but you were a vendor in left field. Nice nachos. How'd they go, Joe? Good.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a portable stand. I mean, I wasn't going through this. I wasn't walking around with it. But,
right. But that's even easier.
Yeah. Well, now I can always think that maybe I sold nachos to the Pope.
Yeah, absolutely. But Bobby was that was a good time. I'll never see a World Championship probably in the White Sox. I'm hoping for the Cubs this year. The White Sox. It's
just
not
talk
pretty.
About a team of destiny. Like there's a team. Like no one picked the White Sox. They just caught lightning in a bottle.
They did. Remember the second half of the season? They were horrible.
Yeah, they were bad.
They almost blew it. If they would have blown that would have been, but they didn't. And Bobby Jenks became a hero. Bobby Jenks is missed.
One of the
His
best.
teammates talked about him, one of the best. Was a great guy. I hung with Bobby one night in Boston. He was a good guy, great guy. And he reminded me a lot of Rod Beck, who I had a few beers with Mark Grayson, the guys back in the day. And Rod Beck, of course, passed away also not long after he got done pitching. So, hey, what can I tell you, man? Life is so precious. And yet, you know, we tell you the whole story here, folks. And I didn't hear the whole story on Michael Madsen, and I didn't hear a lot of this on Bobby Jenks about the pills and everything else. And we don't like to do that part, especially for people that we love like Bobby. But it's part of somebody big just died, and we wish Bobby's family, his new family, and the people in Portugal, and all White Sox fans, including me and Joe, we love Bobby Jenks.
We do.
So condolences to everybody, and good night from somebody big just died.